There really is something to be said about the styling and the road presence of this era of the Mercedes SL. As we've said before, they have aged so well, and as fantastic as the newer generations look, and certainly the older ones as well, these cars still have tremendous road presence. Very similar to, in fact, of course, a couple of other vehicles of its time, with significantly higher prices in many cases, such as the Bentley Continental GT, and even vehicles such as the Aston Martin DB7, the Vanquish, etc. These are stunning looking designs, certainly when they came out, but to this day. This, of course, being a 2004 car with a price tag of under £9,000. And at that price point, certainly being a 2004 car and the kind of vehicle which, by definition, coming from the country of the Autobahn, is designed to eat up long distances in its stride, you would think this car must have huge mileage. In actual fact, no, it's covered barely 77,000 miles. It's finished, as you can see, in brilliant silver, one of the most quintessential Mercedes-Benz colours with alpaca grey leather, has, more importantly than even excellent mileage, a full service history behind it. Of course, exactly what you would want from a car, certainly for this kind of affordable price point as well. Incidentally, speaking of that price, it is still available if you wanted to make use of it with the option of low deposit financing as well. And to go along with that alpaca grey interior, it has chestnut detailing. And of course, from a styling perspective, one of the lovely things about the SL is it's specifically designed to be an open top car. There are many convertibles which look like something of an afterthought, you could say, with a soft top or a hard top option, but you can tell that they were initially intended to be a hard top. The beauty of the SL is it really is both. And in fact, there are very few convertibles, hard top or soft top, which look as good as these do, both with the roof up and the roof down, arguably in equal measure. And certainly, of course, you'll see that here in the video. Now, in addition to that full service history, it still has its 2 original keys and MOT until July of 2026. It has dynamic massage seats, Parktronic assist as well, but of course, being an SL500, again alluding to that 5-litre engine, we have to return to that point, because you would expect plenty of power. Being a Mercedes, well, that's exactly what you get. And again, as we've said so many times, one of the key things about a Mercedes, certainly including this era, is more torque than horsepower. They have plenty of power, in the case of this car 306 horses, but even more torque in comparison at 340 foot-pounds. And not only does that give Mercedes and Mercedes-AMG vehicles that very distinctly almost muscle car in a luxury package vibe, which they have, funnily enough, in a very similar sense to many of the Jaguars, which we love in our collection, it also means that their engines not only don't have to rev overly high to do their best work, but they're also not having to work that hard. So they tend to make fantastic engines that have so many miles in their future. And in the case of a car like this, with its great history behind it and very modest mileage, well, that would indicate, of course, plenty of miles still to be enjoyed. Speaking to performance though, of course, they have the gentleman's agreement in Germany with that 155 mile an hour top speed limiter, barely a 6-second 0 to 60 time, but because of not being a full-on 5, 6, 7, 800 horsepower monster of a car, you can still average up to 32 miles per gallon on the motorway, which again, when you bear in mind that that's a 5-litre V8 sports car, that is not bad at all. And speaking to not being bad at all, neither is its road tax, actually. Of course, all vehicles go up every year, that's bound to happen, but for a vehicle with that kind of engine, and certainly not benefiting from the latest and greatest in tax advantages, it's still somehow a good nearly £400 a year cheaper than many other cars of this kind of calibre at £435 a year. If then you were perhaps considering a Mercedes SL, maybe even more specifically an SL500, or perhaps even a longer distance GT with that open air feel when you want it, that's arguably one of the best things about these cars in fact, then this might be a prime one to consider. And again, for under £9,000, well, there's really no good reason not to be considering a car that looks, sounds and performs as well as these do. So of course, if you would like to reach out regarding it, you could send us an email to the address shown right here on screen, or give us a call on 01749 871155 or via our mobile number of 07482 267 439.